Hello everyone, welcome to Moon Mage. Today's tarot messages are connected to the full moon that is happening in the zodiac sign of Cancer in and around January 13th, where I am. These are pick a card messages. So if you're not interested in hearing a quick overview about the types of energies the full moon in Cancer brings in, you are more than welcome to go ahead, look at the thumbnail, look at which moon is calling you in, and those will be your messages that will be connected to what you can expect coming your way during this full moon, what you may need to be conscious of, aware of, so that you can navigate the energy of it to the best of your ability. So again, if you're not interested in an overview about what this full moon brings about, go ahead down to the description box and pick a message 1 through 4. But for those of you that are interested, I'm going to do a quick overview about what the full moon in Cancer is likely to be connected to. So when we're talking Cancer energy, the governing planetary body of the sign of Cancer is the moon. So it's extra potent for all of those of us that have placements in Cancer, that have our Cancer sun, moon, or rising. You will feel this even more. We're all going to feel it, but Cancers, with any of those placements, you're going to feel it even more so. So be mindful of that. It is connected to the energies of home, mother energy, so nurturing, creativity, and emotions, a lot of emotions. It's a water sign. So it could be a very emotional time with heightened sensitivity, where emotions can go unchecked if we're not careful and aware that it's going to bring about a heightened sense of emotion. So that's something to keep in mind, especially around family and connections, community, friendships, or anything that we're putting or pouring a lot of energy into could also bring about a heightened sense of emotion. All full moons are a culmination of some sort too, something coming to a head, things being seen, things being discovered and understood at that time. All the more reason to be mindful of our emotions, because if something gets exposed, or if we come to see something in a different light or understand it differently, we could be very reactive to that. So that's something that we're really going to want to watch, leading up to this full moon in Cancer, and, for a while beyond it too, because the energies of full moons last longer than just the day that they happen, days before and up to weeks after sometimes. So be mindful of that. The good side of the full moon in Cancer is it can bring about new love and romance for some. Connections could be heightened when it comes to the romantic aspects of our life in a good way. And then on the flip side of that, we could see dissonance, right? Because again, things coming to the fore, things being seen in different light, new understandings and epiphanies. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not so good. And everything has a light and a dark side. We really want to lean into this time to heal ourselves, to nurture, to see what needs to be let go of, especially as it connects to our emotions, our connections, our family, whatever that looks like for each of us, because it's going to be different because we're all going through different things. We're going to really want to do a deep dive and give ourselves over to the reflection around that, because we will see it, whether we like it or not. We will see what needs to be seen. But we have to be really careful about reactivity, because our sensitivities are going to be quite heightened in all ways in regards to our emotions. This is a really good time for contemplation, reflection, coming to the truth of things, planning and preparing ahead for how we want to feel moving forward. But it will be very difficult, and this full moon will be very difficult for those of us that are not willing to do the hard work of seeing the aspects of ourselves that need to be let go of, for not being able to have some sort of discipline around our emotions, lest they go unchecked and we become quite volatile and emotionally out of sync with ourselves and our home lives. So these are all energies that this full moon brings in. If I was going to pick some keywords, I'd say it's a good time for heightened intuition, nurturing what we want in ourselves, self-care, healing out aspects of ourselves that are just not serving us and we don't want to bring with us moving forward in 2025. Foreseeing the truth around situations connected to love and family that are not good for us or that we want more of, and how we can navigate that. It opposes Capricorn, right? And Capricorn is the opposite of all this. They don't want to be emotional. They want to be all work and no play. So there could be a bit of a push-pull in those energies, polarity, where you're feeling like, I feel like I want to be being productive and doing things and working hard, but then there's these things coming to the surface that are calling me to heal, understand them, and use my intuition around them in an emotional sense. And you're going to want to lean more into the emotional aspect, not to disregard that Capricorn energy that opposes it so completely and strongly that you just let it go altogether. But it's sort of secondary to dealing with the more Cancerian emotional aspects of the full moon energies that are coming in. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. There's a lot I could say. I will mention I did put out a quick 5-minute meditation for this full moon to help ease everybody through and kind of connect to the energies in the best way to move through it, so that you move through it with as much ease and grace as possible, because it can be a tricky one. Again, especially if you have Cancer placements, sun, moon, rising. It affects all of us, but Cancer especially, you're going to feel this one. So give yourself a second to look at the thumbnail, look at the moon, see which one is calling to you, and we will look at the energy showing up for you under this full moon. Okay, I'm going to get started here with message number 1. Hello, message 1. So we're going to have a look and see what the main overarching energies are going to be coming in for you at the time of this full moon, in and around days before, and could be lasting up till weeks afterwards. Okay, so the main energy we've got here is North Node energy. So this is sort of like facing your true north. And it says step out of your comfort zone. So where do you need to stretch yourself a little bit? Where do you need to dip your toe into the pool of discomfort so that you can see more growth in your life? It's that kind of energy that you're going to be really feeling at this time when this full moon is happening. You're being asked to look there, shine a light on that part of yourself. And usually if that comes up, it's because it's almost like the universe is like, we've got something that we want to give you, that we want you to create, do, move towards, but we can't get you there if you're not willing to to show up in a way that maybe scares you a little bit, but ultimately is going to be really good for you. Ooh, look at this dark side of the moon, mystery. That sort of goes really well with step out of your comfort zone. It's like embracing the mystery of life, not being too afraid of not knowing what's coming, but just knowing that if you're following your heart, which this full moon in Cancer is a really good one for that, because it's very emotional, very heart-centered, connected to creative energy, mother energy. You really want to lean into that at this time. Even if it scares you a little bit, like it's sort of like with the dark side of the moon too. It's like, I can't see where I'm going, but my heart's leading the way, and I trust that. Often I feel like this kind of energy shows up for those of us that are more, we like knowing what's around the corner. We like being planned and prepared as much as possible. But this is telling you to do the opposite, to be more open to embracing the mystery of life and framing it in a way that's exciting rather than scary. Last quarter moon in Capricorn, oh, that's interesting, because we're talking about how in my intro, I talked about the opposing energy of Cancer is Capricorn, and they like to know, they like to be planned, they like to be productive in doing, and you're being asked to ebb back and, do things that make you uncomfortable, that excite you, but without knowing how it's all going to turn out. And it says leave the past behind. So what are you holding on to? What Capricorn energy in particular, that we're always got to be working, always got to be doing? Plan ahead. Try to figure out what's coming around every corner so that nothing can absolutely surprise you. Always wanting to be prepared. This may be connected to something from your past that you weren't expecting, that was really hard for you. So looking at that story and narrative, I would say to remind yourself that whatever that was, you got through it. You got through the other side because you're here now watching this, right? It's almost like I don't ever want to be caught with my pants down again, not ready or prepared, but it's not possible for us to do that at every turn. And there's something very exciting, it feels here for you guys, message 1, waiting for you. Like we've got that rainbow color coming out on the dark side of the moon, embracing mystery and coming out of your comfort zone. It feels like it's going to bring really positive things. But you might actually need to stop, pause, and look at that past story that has had you feeling like this is not something that's safe for you to do. Let's pull some cards from my message ones. Whoop, okay, we've got one that's falling out there. So that'll be the first card. Strategy. Funny, because we're talking about, you know, maybe just going with your heart, following your heart and see where it takes you, and having a strategy around that. You know, maybe that would be a really good idea for my message one choosers. If you like being planned and prepared and knowing what's coming, maybe even if you can't embrace or you can't see what's coming because it is a mystery, by following your comfort zone and not having all the information but doing it anyways, using a strategy. And this says journal log, maybe writing down what you want, almost like envisioning it first, and like planning for it that way, but then just following your heart towards that thing without truly knowing how it's going to all turn out would be a really good idea for you guys. Goddess of the moon, look at that, drawing down the energy of this full moon, and it is coming out in a bit of a challenge position, so allowing, right? It's that it's that lean into it energy, that just follow your heart's compass, your guidance. I don't think that my message ones are generally comfortable with that, but that's what you're being called to do. But also, this is a message of intuition being really heightened. So if you start having these intuitive hits, these thoughts, especially if they're connected to something that you want to do, create, move towards, try something new, listen to it and keep pulling on that thread, because there's something in that for you. There's something that's like yes energy in that for you. Yeah, the thinking man. Central. And this is kind of representing you, right? Wanting to think things through, wanting to strategize. But the big ask here in the challenge position is to allow that moon energy, that intuition, to really open up, to be the guiding post. And then you can use your strategies and your powerful mind to take you further, to take care of the rest, essentially, is what I'm trying to say here. It's sort of like this beautiful marriage between intuition and intellect. And it feels like, for my message ones, there's been a lot of intellect, but maybe not as much intuition. Really leaning into that energy at this time is going to take you very far. And I think bring about a lot of epiphanies and understandings, and taking you to really amazing, beautiful places that you never would have thought you would have ended up. Yeah, because the temple path in the reverse position, suggesting that you're not on your highest path and following your true potential, your purpose, that, you know, your gifts and talents, what you're here to do in a much bigger, grander way. It's reversed, suggesting that there's been a lot of thinking, a lot of maybe overanalyzing, a lot of fear about stepping out of your comfort zone, following your gut instincts and your intuition. I think some of you have already had some stuff, but maybe you've ignored it and just count it. Give yourself over to journaling, to really getting real and honest with yourself about what it is you want and how you'd like to feel moving forward in this year. Not what you want to have necessarily physically. Start with how you want to feel. There's this sense that that's really going to open you up. And this full moon energy is going to be the perfect time to do that, because I feel like you're going to be helped with that universal energy, with the full moon being in Cancer, to really connect to your intuition and see the truth of things and come to ahas and epiphanies. Yeah, it's leave that past behind. I'm really pulled towards it. I feel like maybe some of you have been through some hard things from the past, and it's made you feel like stuck and frozen, like I can't do it, because, you know, afraid of things going terribly awry. Magician in the mirror. That's an amazing card to have. And it's that yin yang, bringing it into balance, which we talked about here, which is showing up here as well. You've got masculine thinking energy, intellectual, wanting to be so planned, so strategic, and have everything figured out, next to that goddess of the moon, who's more like, okay, I'm just going to follow the mystery, embrace that dark side, that not knowing, and trust, because it feels really good. This is sort of bringing that into into the equation again, and it's a very strong and powerful message, right? You want to try to find a balance between these two. I feel like there's been a lot more yang energy for my message one choosers. The thinking, how can you bring more of that moon energy, that intuitive, creative, inspired energy into your life? We'll start there. And then I feel like, you can bring that thinking energy along with you. It feels like there's something that's going to be highlighted, connected to your passion, your purpose, how you show up, what you do in a career sense for you at this time. Creative inspiration that wants to come through and wants you to follow what comes through. But you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone to do just that. Try not to allow yourself to get too caught up in the hows of things. Just allow it to move through these thoughts, these feelings, these inspirations and desires. Because I do feel like you have a natural propensity for intellectual things and thinking things through. I feel like the how will come, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's more about you allowing yourself to feel through this right now. I'm going to look at the bottom card. Nice. Look at that. Happy family. Happy family. This full moon's very much connected to home and family. Number 4 too is the house of Cancer. It's also a very strong foundation. And I feel like this is something that worries and concerns you. Like maybe you're afraid to put yourself first, your dreams, your desires, your wants. You're afraid it will affect your family negatively, maybe in a monetary way. Could be just in a way that you think that they're just not going to be supportive of. I feel like that's not the case. And I think I was compelled to look at the bottom card to let you know that. Fear not. You are going to be called to step up at this time, to embrace your intuition, to call it in, to feel things through, to really get honest with yourself about what it is you want and start believing that you can have it. This dreamy, watery Cancerian energy is really going to benefit you in that way, to connect to yourself in a more heart-centered, real way, to get you on your temple path. I feel like you've got gifts and talents that people need in some way, and they're being underutilized somehow. And I think it's connected to, how will this affect the people I love, the people I care about, me following this? Am I being selfish? None of that's true, but this is the big call for you at this time. So don't be surprised if you start experiencing a lot of intuitive hits around this time. Desires, soul callings, urges, strange to you anyways, thoughts coming in, and ideas that seem almost like they're out of left field. Again, you're going to want to pull on these threads as much as you possibly can. They're coming to you for a reason, because you're ready. And it's like the universe is supporting you through this right now. But that's what's going to be kind of illuminated for you at this full moon. Your soul's calling, your purpose, your passion. You're going to be brought into inspiration. And then it's like Spirit's like, here's what we're giving you. Here's what we want for you. Now you just need to follow it, trust, believe, embrace the mystery around it, which will require you to step out of your comfort zone. Most definitely. Whoops. Okay. Wow, look at this. The Holy Spirit, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. Yes, I don't think I've been saying it as eloquently. I've probably been banging on a little bit too much. But this is what I'm feeling like. This is a really good energy coming up for you, message 1. Very supportive of your wants, your desires, your inspired thoughts. They're like divinely inspired thoughts coming through for a reason, because Spirit wants you to embrace them and lean into them and know that it's the time's coming for you to have them and get on that temple path, where you're really living your mission, what you're here to do. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. Yes. And we've got Lady Venus, also a very strong feminine energy. I think you're more comfortable with the yang energy, the masculine energy of creating, being productive, doing, seeing tangible physical things, knowing what's coming, preparation. Big, strong ask for you to embrace the more feminine side of yourself. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Wow. Yes. Yes. So give yourself some space to receive this. Again, maybe you're somebody who likes to be doing moving, going. Really give yourself over some space to do this. Maybe do a full moon meditation, get connected, pull out your journal and start writing down whatever comes to your mind, no matter how silly. I don't even care if it's like, all of a sudden I'm thinking of bubblegum, write it down. Because I feel like you're going to be able to connect the dots, right? You've got this goddess of the moon energy, drawing down intuition, seeing the truth of things. Full moons are always about illuminating things that we've been even hiding from ourselves. So really embrace this energy. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Downloads and understanding. Yep. And then it's just going to be about trusting them and starting to follow them. With like, it's coming to you for a reason, even if it scares you a little bit. And it will require you to move out of your comfort zone in some way. It will evoke a little bit of fear, but I feel like that's just normal when we're being asked to step out and do something new. That's going to be really good for us. It's always going to be fear, a little bit fear-inducing because we don't know what's coming. We just have to trust ourselves and where we're being led. And I think that's a really strong message here for my message one choosers. Let's pull some moon cards. I always like to pull these because I feel like they're really good to be utilized as affirmations almost for us when we're feeling these fears and worries and concerns, reminding ourselves what we need to know, why we're receiving what we're receiving, essentially is what I'm trying to say here. Oh, geez. Okay. I will persist. My will is strong. That fell right out. Yeah, and with that card too, it almost makes me feel like maybe some of you have given up on a dream and you're going to be asked to circle back around to it, or it's going to come back to you in a really big, powerful way. And it's happening for a reason. If that does show up to be the case for you, message one, there's a reason you're circling back to it. I see the gateway is open and the pathway is clear. My journey begins. Wow, I love that for you guys. Definitely, definitely. There's new things showing up or old things coming back from the past that you're meant to be doing something with. And it's time. It's yes energy. It's time to go and move towards this thing that you're feeling drawn to, connected to, inspired by. It's all like happening for you. I see the gateway is open and the pathway is clear. My journey begins. Yep, absolutely. And then we've got, I gather more wisdom each day. Yeah. And it's interesting, right? Because I'm putting this over here by this downloads and understandings. More information is forthcoming. Just trust what you receive. And again, journal. I feel like that's going to be a really good idea for you. Why is my camera doing that? There we go. So you can even say these things to yourself, especially if you start feeling, uncomfortable or fearful or worried about what you're wanting and desiring. Fear props in to tell you that why you can't have it or why you shouldn't listen to it. Use these cards as your affirmations to move you through that and come into the energy of, I've got this and it's happening for me and I'm going to embrace it and let's go. I will persist. My will is strong. I see the gateway is open and the pathway is clear. My journey begins and I gather more wisdom each day. All good things for you. Okay, I'm going to pull one final card to cap this message off. I feel like your main message here, group one, is to really embrace inspiration at the time, in and around the time of this full moon. Whatever comes through is coming through for a reason, and you're meant to follow it. Get out of your comfort zone and say yes to yourself because it's connected to your true purpose and passion. Ooh, some of you are quite spiritual. It's time to really embrace that. Even more of a reason for some of you to feel that fear, right? Because it's not always well received, especially by family, with that family card being on the bottom. Open up your spiritual gifts. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. Wow. You're really going to be intuitively open and spiritually connected in and around the time of this full moon. Remember, it's not the exact day necessarily. Days leading up to, days afterwards. So really embrace this time. It's coming for you for a reason. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. Open up your spiritual gifts. I love that for you guys. It makes so much sense with all the other energy that's showing up here for you. All right, I am going to leave that there, sending you all lots of love and hope that you really embrace this full moon's energy so that you can connect to your passion, your power, and your purpose. Take care, guys. Hello, message 2. Let's see what's showing up for you guys. Okay, we've got conclusions are within reach, right? Full moons usually are a culmination of energies where we can see things. I mentioned this in the intro. Things coming to the fore, things being revealed, things being seen. So what you're not aware of or what you don't know is about to be seen in some kind of way. So being open to this, that you will see the way through what needs to happen. And it does say full moon energy. It says full moon eclipse. So having answers forthcoming. The past, wow, this past energy has showed up in message 1 as well. Dark moon, the past. So this could be something from the past that you weren't sure of, coming back up and being concluded in some kind of way, seeing the truth about a situation from the past. This could also be connecting to letting go of something from the past in some kind of way. We'll have to see what else comes out. I am noticing all these snakes, so it makes me feel like this conclusion brings about some kind of profound healing. And it is connected to either past connections, again, something that happened in the past, something where you're like, I never got closure there. I don't really know what happened. It's like that kind of energy is coming back around so that you will receive that closure and heal in some kind of way. This needs to, jeez, okay, whatever, leave it like that. And then we've got last quarter moon in Aries energy. Work through your feelings. Yes. Okay. It does feel like this is going to be a very healing energy, a healing moon for you. When you receive these answers, when you come to some sort of understanding and get this closure, it almost feels like it's not going to necessarily be easy, but it is a healing energy. And, you know, as this says, work through your feelings. You don't need to push them down or tamp them down. Allow them to come up so you can feel them and then release them, essentially. It feels like whatever these answers are brings about the closure that you needed in some kind of way. It almost feels like for some of you, it could be connected to relationships. Maybe you're not even sure, like, what went wrong? What did I do? Why did that end the way it ended? It doesn't have to be that because this is general, but I do feel like that might be the case for some of you. This card's driving me a little bit nuts. I have to let it go. Conclusions are within reach, though. So seeing the truth about a situation is about to be your reality message, too. And this is going to bring about a lot of healing and a lot of emotions. I do definitely feel like there's been, for some of my message 2 choosers, a lot of confusion, like being in your head a little bit or a lot about the why of things. Oh, yeah. Okay. Man holding heart. This is definitely connected to relationships for some of you. Either what went wrong or what's going wrong, why something didn't work out. It just feeling in the dark, as it says, dark moon, the past, about a situation. This is about to shift and change for you. There is messages and energy coming in and around this for sure. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to understand what this energy is that I'm feeling about this. Okay. I think for some of you, somebody from the past might be coming back around. We'll have to pull more cards to see what, but I feel like that's just something I needed to say. I think somebody from the past might actually be coming around that was a romantic connection in some way, or you had a romantic connection with. I'm also getting a past issue for some of you. So in regards to an existing relationship, an issue that was maybe swept under the rug and not completely dealt with is going to come back up to the surface for some of you. Yeah, door to personal healing and happiness in the reverse. Something that you've not been able to get to attain. And I think it's because you've been not having that feeling of closure, that not knowing, that not understanding. What went wrong? Are you coming back? Why did you leave? What is this relationship? Where is it even going? And it's caused you to feel emotionally disconnected and all over the place and stuck in your head, in dissonance, essentially. This has been a big challenge for my message twos. But as this says, conclusions are within reach and healing can begin and you can start working through your feelings. Nice. Blossoming abundance is at the center of this, which I love. I love that for you. And as it's connected to conclusions and seeing the truth and understanding and having the answers you need so that you can finally, put the past behind you and move forward. You've got a blossoming abundance, new beautiful things on their way. Nice. Community, new connections coming in, supportive people. So if that's not something that resonates with you, prepare yourself because it feels like it's what's coming in for you next to this blossoming abundance. And abundance and new beautiful, positive connections could be romantic for some of you, but it definitely feels like friendships as well for some of you, many of you actually. Support. I just keep coming back to that word, support, more support. The sun in reverse. Okay, suggesting that it's sort of like you're not out of the woods yet. There is a lot of healing that needs to be had and needs to happen for you to move through this situation. It does feel like it might be a little bit destabilizing for some of you coming to these answers or seeing the truth about something. But remember, centrally, you've got a blossoming abundance and community, new connections, powerful support coming your way. This is what you want to hold on to. This is going to be the result. This is just letting you know you're not quite there yet, because of this door to personal healing and happiness has been closed. It's not been happening. It's like this need to know. I must know. I have to understand why things went the way they went. I need some sort of closure around this. And I'm going to say, for those of you where you don't actually receive the answer from an outside force or person or from this situation, I feel like there's a bit of a message here to decide for yourself to put an end to the whys, the what ifs, the constant questionings, and bring in that closure for yourself so that you can heal and move through this energy into something new, into better connections, into support, into beautiful community, into new abundance, and turn these energies around for yourself. Because they've been really challenging, it feels like, not being able to let go. Definitely connected to love, romance, partnership. It's this feeling of it's time to put it to bed. So again, even if you don't receive the answers that you hoped for, it's about making the decision to end, cut, sever the connection that you had to this person or this relationship, this situation, for your best and highest good, so that you can move on, so that you can heal and say yes to new things, new beautiful things that want to come in for you. Right? It's just this feeling of it's time to let go. Okay, I'm going to see at the bottom of the card here is, yeah. We've got action in the reverse. Essentially, it's time to embrace non-action, to give yourself over to this healing energy. It's so needed and deserved by you. Self-care comes to my mind in a big, big way for my message to give yourself as much self-care as possible. Do things that make you feel really good. Take a warm bath. Go get your hair done. If you, male or female, I guess, doesn't matter. Get your nails done if that makes you feel better. Whatever you really enjoy, whether it's going to the gym, male or female, do it. Give yourself over to it. You deserve this time of healing and self-care. It feels like it's going to be so important to getting into the energy of new things, new abundance, new connections, support systems, community. you really want to say yes to yourself right now. It's all about you right now, message 2, and healing and feeling really good in your own skin, about who you are. I feel like too, there's this energy of like whatever the situation was has really affected your self-esteem and the way you view yourself. So again, all the more reason to give yourself over to self-care. Do things that make you feel like you, that make you feel really good about you. I think even, especially in the looks department, I don't know why that's coming to me. That's not going to resonate with all of you. But if you're feeling less than in that way, or not handsome enough, not beautiful enough, do things that help you to feel that way. I'm sure that you are perfect just as you are, but often situations connected to relationships and romance have a funny way of making us feel like we're not when they go sideways, and we can't figure out maybe why somebody didn't choose us or why something didn't work out. It can really affect us in that way. This is what I'm trying to say in not such a great way. So just know that you are perfect just as you are, but if doing things to make you feel better about yourself, your appearance, helps you do that. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. We've got blossoming abundance there too. Divine intervention. It's interesting too, because as it connects to these cards in this situation, it's almost like, especially when we get stuck in the why of things, it's like, because there's someone better. There's a situation that's better. There's a community that's better. There's a place that we're directing you to that's much better than what you could have even imagined, but you're very stuck in this energy of what's been, what didn't work out, how you've been hurt. Totally understandable. So it's like spirits jumped in to say, nope, we want to guide you. We need you to be willing to heal through this, to work through your feelings so that we can guide you to the next best thing, the better thing. It's almost like a blessing in disguise. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. And I feel like for my message too, that's been really elusive for you. Just feeling good and happy and self-assured. Feels like it's been a real missing piece for you in your life. And that's a huge piece. We all need to feel good within ourselves. I feel like some self-love meditations would be a really good idea for my message twos. I also just put out a full moon meditation. It's all about nurturing and healing and using our intuition. That could be a really good idea for some of you, but there's so many good meditations out there that help us with release, healing, self-love, self-care. I think that would all be a positive thing for you guys at this time too, even if it's just listening. Prayer and contemplation. Yeah. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive, right? Conclusions are within reach. Yeah, so if there are certain answers, particular answers that you've been wanting, hoping, waiting for, they are forthcoming. You will see them. I don't know necessarily that all of you are going to like what you receive. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to say that for some of you. It might be a little upsetting. For others, I think it's going to really help close this chapter and bring that healing that you so desperately need. But for others, it could be a little bit like, oof, I see it now. This is hard. That's okay. You will move through it. You are being guided and helped. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Yeah. Yeah. It's like we see, it's almost like spirit universe saying we see the struggle and we recognize that you need some sort of help with this closure and understanding. And we're going to bring that to you. Just be prepared for it. Whether it's something that's welcomed or hard, it doesn't matter. It's going to ultimately be for your best and highest good. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pull some moon messages. They're little like these little cards. I always think of them as little affirmations that we can use, especially when we're feeling downtrodden or like things have been, that's too many cards, difficult. And we catch ourselves in negative thinking or, especially if we're talking negatively to ourselves about ourselves. I find remembering the words on these cards can be really helpful, using them like affirmations. I shine my light outwards for all to see. I love that. I shine my light outwards for all to see. No hiding in the shadows. I definitely feel like there's been a hit to self-esteem for some of you. It's time to come back out and be you. Connect to this new community, this blossoming abundance. Look at the card there too. There's just all this love energy, but self-love is the most important thing for you guys right now. Message 2. I am loved beyond measure. Yes, you are. You're worthy. You're deserving. I seek truth and act upon my realizations. Wow. I seek truth and act upon my realizations. Ask and you shall receive. Conclusions are within reach. Be ready. Be ready. Message 2. Answers are coming. And again, just a reminder that for some of you, it might not be the answers that you want, but they will be the answers that you need. And then you can make decisions and start moving through the healing process as a result of it. Okay. I am just going to pull one final card, one last message here for my group 2s. There's this part of me that just wants to keep saying to you guys, you're worthy, you're deserving. Keep telling yourselves that message too, because I feel like it's something that you have forgotten. Open up to your spiritual gifts. Wow. Okay, this came up in message 1 as well. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. Okay. Big message here for you to be more connected to your soul, your spiritual self, than the physical world. You know, being stuck in the mundane and in our thought processes of what's been in the past and all things on the earthly plane can really block intuition, new spiritual connection and communication. And you have a lot of that wanting to show up for you at this time. So really going to drive home the fact that it'd be a really good idea for you to set some time aside for healing, for self-care, for meditation, because there's so much coming through that you're going to receive. And as this says, it's time to embrace your soul and your spiritual self more so than all the physical things at this time. Because you're able to do it, right? Open up to your spiritual gifts. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. Yes. Very, very receptive time for you. Message 2. So really be open to that. Answers are forthcoming. I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope that you all have beautiful full moon energy coming your way and really give yourself over to love and healing and self-care. Take care, guys. Hello, message 3. Let's see what's coming up for you guys at this full moon. Okay, so we've got full moon in Sagittarius energies, which is very philosophical, fiery, passionate. And it says, look at the bigger picture. So needing to widen your perspective on something, kind of moving out of tunnel vision, expanding your thought processes, your thinking, what you know to be true, really expanding on that in some kind of way. Widening your perspective. That's the big energy showing up, or the big ask at this time. I got these new little stands, but they're tricky to navigate. Okay. Ooh, okay. Moonlight Serenade. Change your tune. Okay. Again, very connected to that, looking at the bigger picture energy, changing your tune. There's something, some sort of something in your ideas, thoughts, processes, and perspectives that need to be shifted. There's something off about them. Also, this could be, you know, in a more spiritual sense, saying it's time to connect to frequency. So potentially doing some meditations that help you attune your chakras, align them, and using tones and frequencies to do just that, to heighten and up level yourself in some way, your vibration, your energy. Either way, though, on a more practical, mundane level, drawing down this moon energy and changing your tune, and as connected to looking at the bigger picture, is essentially there needs to be some sort of shift in your thinking and perspective. And if it's showing up, it's because it'll be beneficial to you in some way. Okay. Last quarter moon in Pisces energy. Talk less and feel more. Yeah. Stop, pause. Big ask for you guys right now. Message 3. There's some information that you're missing. There's some perspective that needs to be shifted. There's information that's going to be really beneficial for you, but it can't get to you if you're going, doing, following one thread and one thread only, and being stuck in tunnel vision. As it says, talk less, feel more, right? This is a very emotional moon. This is a very feeling moon because it's happening in Cancer, leaning into what you're feeling rather than what you're thinking, moving from the head down into the heart. Big ask, because this will help to widen your perspective and have you see the truth of things, have you understand things from a different point of view, a different perspective, which will make whatever, I don't know why I put that over there, which will make whatever situation that you're dealing with easier to navigate with this new information, this new understanding and discernment. All right, let's see what cards are coming out with this. It almost feels like for you guys, there's going to be a change in direction once you've allowed for this connection to your heart, to attuning and aligning yourself with universal energy, to expanding your vision and your perspective on something. Patience. It's in the reverse, which makes a lot of sense when we've got talk less, feel more, change your tune, look at the bigger picture, too much doing and not enough being. And obviously, because there's an energy of impatience, I have to. This energy of wanting to push and make something happen and push it through. And you're being asked to do the opposite of that right now, right? It's time to lean into patience. And this is something that's been very difficult. Oops, I think here for my message 3s. And, with needing a shift in a situation, where it's going to change into and morph into something that you didn't see or expect in a better way, definitely is connected to patience, because it feels like I'm tired of waiting. This is taking too long. We just got to go and do that. Again, that tunnel vision energy. But having patience to see the situation made stronger, better is what the big ask is here. But again, it starts with a change in perspective, changing your tune, feeling your way through this rather than trying to push your way through this journey. And that goes really well, right? Trying to make something move forward, not having the patience to wait, to really feel through all the options that are at your feet, to really look at them, to spend time with them, to feel through them and say, okay, if I go like this, it might feel like that. It's like that, right? Causing this journey to be stalled, not moving forward. You just want things to happen now, even if there's something better. It's sort of like, well, I just want it to be done. There's a feeling of that here for me, for some of my message 3 choosers. That's not going to resonate with all of you, but I definitely feel like that's the case for some of you. This will move forward, but there does need to be a shift in perspective. There is something that needs to be understood, seen, and done differently in order to make this situation most optimal. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Okay. This is central. Look at the big picture. This is about creativity, right? Which is connected to feminine energy. It's the sacral chakra. It's responsible for passion, purpose, sexuality, emotions. This is the energy center that you may need to clear and work on at this time to really connect to the feeling energy and pause action right now so that you can receive and widen your perspective, and you can receive answers and understanding and discernment and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that before. this way is so much better, then you take those creative inspirations and you implement them. And then the situation finally does move in the best way. But there is a call to be creative here, to be more connected to your emotions than to your mind, to not push, and to allow. And the full moon, watery full moons, especially in Cancer, really have a way of making us do that if we don't choose to do it for ourselves. So be mindful of that. Message 3, sometimes we can be knocked on our butts, just so that we do have space to widen our perspective if we're not giving ourselves time and space to do just that. Man holding a coin. Okay, so the beginning of something prosperous, something that sees liftoff, something that brings about financial security in some kind of way due to this widening of your perspective, of the widening, why can't I speak? The widening of your mind and your thought processes and your perspective. Man holding a coin. And it's almost like it's connected to like the Ace of Pentacles, like a new financial beginning, a prosperous one. And I feel like this is what you've been trying to make happen, and it's sort of been elusive, or maybe there's been a lot of troubleshooting this because there's a better way. There's something better. There's a different way to do it. And maybe there's some fear around following that thread. Maybe you have landed on it. For some of you, message 3, but there's some fear. Like, I'm not sure if I should do that. It doesn't feel safe to me. We can't guarantee it. There's something to that here for me. And I feel like this is a bit of a embrace that energy anyways, because there is something in it that's going to be very beneficial that maybe you've discounted. But for others, it's really just for prosperity to be lifted off, to start to lift off, and to see the fruition of things happen in a positive light requires a different perspective, a shift in your energy, more feeling and creative inspiration and creative ideas than what's currently happening right now. Yeah. Goddess of the moon, drawing down intuition. It's very, very much starting to get more connected to your emotions than your intellect. This is a strong message coming through all of these readings so far, and you're no exception. Message 3, draw down the moon. Essentially, that's what the goddess of the moon is. Intuition. Lean into it. Lean into your heart energy. Lean into soul. Lean into creative thought and inspiration. Take a step back so that you can then leap forward into prosperity, into that journeyed energy of things moving forward in the best possible way. This definitely feels connected to passion, purpose, career, directions that, again, bring about security, stability, a financial up-leveling and abundance in some way. All right, I'm going to look at the underbelly of this. Okay. Attachment. So attachment suggests that you're attached to something. It's sort of like this way and only this way, which I think would be a really good way to describe it for you, message 3. I'm very attached to it looking like this, feeling like this, moving forward like this. This is what I planned for. This is how I saw it happening. There's an energy of you need to let go of that, this attachment to how it should be or what it should look like, because there's like something better. If someone, it was almost like if spirit said this or something better, you'd say this because it feels familiar and it's what you've been working towards, but spirit would say something better. There's something better. There's a better way, but we can't get it to you. We need you to be open to what we have to offer in regards to the situation so that it can move forward. Abundance will be coming in as a result. So look at what you're attached to. What ideas, what notions, what beliefs that are keeping your situation stalled. You know, I've brought this up in one of my other tarot readings, but this sort of energy is coming up a lot, especially in my weekly tarot readings. I usually get at least one message of needing to pause and feel things through before taking action, to stop pushing and to allow. And it keeps coming up in one reading or another almost every week. And so I'm wondering, is that you, message 3? Does that resonate with you? Is that kind of energy keep showing up for you? Has it been really difficult for you to let go and allow creative inspiration to come through, intuition to speak? Because it's a big ask here for message 3. Let's pull some more cards. The Miriam, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Okay, that's really interesting. So for some of you, holding on, that attachment energy could be holding on to anger, pain, or frustration from the past, maybe loss of trust in a situation. And so you're not willing to bend or widen your perspective or view about how things could be or should be moving forward, or just feeling really rigid in your stance on that. But it's time to look at that narrative because it's no longer serving you or your situation. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. That's interesting. Love has no boundaries. Maybe you've put up too many boundaries right now. So real love, real connection, real liftoff and abundance can't truly happen because there's some fear and blocks around it. And I feel like this is going to be a really good energy to support you moving through that. Again, widening vision and perspective so that you can see a better way through and forward. Potentially maybe opening up that heart space even more, I think, just naturally for some of you. Freya, phases and cycles. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. That full moon energy back there too. And I feel like it's very much connected to that goddess of the moon, right? Connecting to your intuition, that inner knowing. You're coming to the end of a cycle, it feels like, message 3. And it's time to embrace that and allow yourself to detach, even if it has to be slowly, to what's been and being open to what could be. Really being expansive in your vision. Really leaning into fun and creativity and joy and inspiration. It's going to help. I feel like it's really going to help you move out of stuckness. Yeah, there is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. So much of that kind of like being revelatory energy shows up in full moons, but this one is particularly potent for that. And if we're not prepared for it and willing to be kind of in flow with it and not rigid in how it shows up with adapting to it, we can be really thrown off. It can really set us back. So be mindful of that message 3, because I think that's kind of the energy coming for all of us. And I don't see how it's going to be any different for you. If anything, I feel like with a rigid stance, with an attachment to outcome and too many boundaries at this time, especially around your heart space, you could really miss these new opportunities, visions, and perspectives that could propel you forward. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm going to pull some moon cards. I say it all the time in every message, but whenever I do moon readings, I look at them as affirmations that you could use, especially when you're feeling shut down, stuck in negative thinking, worry, or fear. I always tell everybody to remember these little cards and what they say and use them when you catch yourself in those energies to help reverse it, flip the narrative essentially in those moments. I know my shadow side and I work to willingly transform aspects of it. Yeah, I know my shadow side and I willingly transform aspects of it. And I work to, rather. I kind of botched that, but yeah. When you catch yourself in that shadowy negative energy, it's sort of like, no, you're not going to get any power over me right now. I know what this is and I'm moving through it. I'm changing it. I choose to nourish myself and enrich my life. Right? And that really does start with widening our view and vision and perspective, and not having tunnel vision or a narrow view of how things should be, moving out of attachment. I choose to nourish myself and enrich my life. Like, enrichment of life can't really happen unless we're willing to embrace new ideas and perspectives. I am curious about my true nature. I seek to understand myself. Wow. You've got like a lot of internal personal work showing up here for you as well. Message 3, because I know my shadow side and I work to willingly transform it. I am curious about my true nature. I seek to understand myself. Changing your tune, widening your perspective, feeling more. There's a lot of personal transformation energy showing up here for you. And if it's showing up, it's because it's entirely possible at this time. You can shift out of all this stuck or stagnant energy, out of these attachments that are no longer serving you, out of that push, do energy, and give over to feel, inspiration. This is what's all showing up for you at this time. It's like the time is optimal for it. And I feel like if you allow this for yourself and you give yourself over to it, it's going to be more amazing than you could have possibly imagined. It almost feels like for some of you, it'll feel very spiritually electric, like electrifies you. It almost brings you into alignment by saying yes to this energy and embracing it. Okay, I'm going to cap this off with one final message. Yeah, as much reflecting that you can give yourself over to at the time of this full moon, in and around it, you know, a few days before, days after, it's going to be a really good idea for you. I think you'll be able to connect to your creativity, your emotions, your intuition. It feels like you'll be able to naturally widen your perspective, but you have to be willing. Is something that I keep feeling. They have to be willing. They have to be willing. So I'm just going to say it. Don't shoot the messenger, but that's what I keep feeling and hearing in my head. You have to be willing. Look at this. Trust in divine purpose. This experience has divine meaning. Healing will come. Know that you are on a path of growth. It definitely feels like that. Like this is going to be a very much a growth year for you. Message 3. You're going to see yourself expand and become more spiritually and energetically up-leveled if you say yes to this. Again, trust in divine purpose. This experience has divine meaning. Healing will come. Know that you are on a path of growth. I love that. It makes so much sense with this reading for you guys. Embrace this energy as much as you possibly can, message 2. And I feel like the results are a lot of stability, a lot of intuitive connection, sacred vision coming to the fore, ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new positive chapter where you're more in yourself and more freed up from blocks that have been there for too long and attachments that are no longer healthy for you. Moving forward in the best possible way. That's what I'm feeling like for my message 3s. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Take care, guys. Hello, message 4. Let's see what's showing up for you guys. Okay, we've got a void of course moon. It says nothing will come of this situation. Okay, so we'll have to look at the rest of the cards to see what this is going to mean for you, but this could be connecting to nothing will come of this situation as far as if there's worries or concerns about something happening. It's sort of a message to not be worried because that's not going to happen, but it could also be a message that maybe something that you're putting effort towards or energy, emotions into. It could be your heads up from the universe saying that nothing will come of this situation. It may be not worth your time, energy, heart space, what have you. But we'll have to see what else shows up. Okay, talk to the moon, communicate. Okay, talk to me. It almost feels a little bit like there's something missing in your understanding and your wisdom and your discernment. As it says, nothing will come of the situation. Communicating what it is that you need to know, what you want, asking spirit for help and guidance, asking for communication about the situation so that you can make good decisions around it. One's from the heart with like a true sense of intuition and understanding. And this is such a good time to do it under the Cancer full moon energy. Also could be a message for some of you of what do you need to communicate, what needs to be said. Oh, wow. Okay. Full moon in Pisces. Forgive. Okay. Forgive. Healing energy. Pisces energy was often, it's also watery emotional energy. Connection, about connections, whether it's family, romantic partnership. There's some sort of communication that's not happening that needs to happen. And with the nothing will come of this situation, whether this is fear around what's going to happen or whether you should push on something, we'll see with what the cards say. But the bigger message here is forgiving energy is never for the other person. It's always for ourselves so that we don't carry around a heavy heart. And I feel like that's a big thing here for my message number 4s. What do you need to know and understand? What do you need to communicate or needs to be communicated to you for your own understanding so that you can move into forgiveness and move away from a situation where nothing is going to come of it, essentially. Very curious to see what other cards come out with this. All right. I don't think I have my camera set up the best way today. I apologize if it doesn't look so great. It's feeling a little off. Talk to the moon. Yeah, you know, I've been saying it in all the messages, but it's this full moon energy and being in watery Cancer, the energy of emotions, and, you know, our feminine energy, our creativity, our intuition is such a good time to, it's such a good time to meditate and give ourselves over to that, because we really will, if we're open to it and willing, we really will receive guidance and intuition and a heightened sense of intuition and an understanding that most of us have been needing and wanting at this time. It's such a good energy for that, this full moon. And I feel like you're no exception. Magician in the mirror. So there's an imbalance here, and it's being highlighted as a need for you at this time. This is the Magician in the mirror. He's got yin and yang energy on either side of him, finding a way to bring this part of this aspect of yourself back into balance. It seems to me like maybe your emotional energy may be out of balance, and it is a heightened time of sensitivity around this full moon energy. So being really mindful of that, maybe doing meditations that help you stay grounded and present and centered, or ones that are specific to bringing these two energies, that yin yang, into balance, would be a really good idea for you. But I also feel like it's a way to empower you, message 4, because you are magic. You do have, like, I feel like, the power to intuit what it is you need, want, and bring yourself into balance, even if you're not able to do it at this time. And it starts with these energies up here. Magic in the mirror. Also, there's this energy of what's being mirrored back to you. I feel like there is something being mirrored back to my message 4s. And there might be a fear or an unwillingness to look at it and see it, the truth of it. There's something to that here for me. That's not going to be for all of you. You know, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I do think some of you have this energy in and around you at this time. There's that you're mirroring. Something's being mirrored back to you. And I think that you're not wanting to see it right now, but maybe need to. It's a form of communication. That was a lot with one card there. Fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Okay. We've got communicate up here, and we've got this coming out in the challenge position. And it's about the throat chakra. It's how we express ourselves, what needs to be said. There's a big call to clear your throat space and to express yourself, to speak your truth, to communicate clearly what it is you want or don't want, what needs to be said. And I think it helps to move along this forgiving energy and get you into that energy. But no holding your tongue at this time. There is a way to express yourself in a diplomatic way that's assertive but not aggressive. Perhaps you've been, again, holding back, not expressing yourself, not speaking your truth or what needs to be said for fear of that. What will it mean? What will it change? How will it affect the situation? But it needs to be done, because you've got, you know, the communication angel here connected to the throat chakra coming out in the challenge. And then you've got talk to the moon and communicate. There's definitely words that need to be said, expression that needs to be had, truths that need to be given. You know, otherwise nothing changes and you stay in a stuck situation that doesn't feel good. Here, message 4, that's what it feels like. Yeah, okay. Deceit. Deceit's right at the center here. Oh, geez. Okay, it feels like some of you have been burned in a situation, hurt by a situation. Maybe you're stuck and you're rolling around with what to do. Should I forgive? Should I let this go? Should I just grin and bear it? I feel like the answer to that is no for you guys. Been really, I think, wrestling with this. A lot of emotions, a lot of heavy energy, having received some clarity. And maybe there's some sort of sense of a false hope, I almost want to say, for some of you, that it can be made better or new. But it feels like that's maybe not the best thing for you if nothing will come of this situation. something untrustworthy here for some of you. But I will say, conversely, on the other side, some of you have been maybe trying to heal through a situation, particularly a relationship, where you were deceived, or there was, maybe you were the one that deceived somebody, and the forgiveness has been really hard to get to because of lack of communication, things not being said and not being released and let out, and that needs to happen. Because all things can be moved through if both parties are willing and if everyone's speaking their truth and actually releasing it and letting it go. But it feels like that's not something that's been happening here from a message force. So whether this is something that you need to let go of because the situation can't move forward, it's no longer serving you, and forgiveness is for you, and speaking your mind and your truth helps you to release, or whether it's, I truly am going to forgive and move past the deceit that's happened and communicate clearly my truth, my wants, my needs, and desires in order to move this situation forward. You'll know, because this is going to be different for every one of you. But it feels like these are the messages that are showing up here for my message force. Community. Okay. So I love this because it's kind of showing support, especially for those of you who are feeling like your internal compass, your inner knowing is telling you it's time to heal and move on, that nothing really will come of the situation. There is support for you. There is a community for you. There are new friendships and connections on the other side of this harder energy. And you might be feeling like you're lacking that right now. All the more reason why you might feel shut down and not wanting to speak your truth and express yourself, because there's that fear of, I'm going to be all by myself and this is going to be really hard. And I don't know where who my people are, who my tribe is. These are things that can be shifted and changed in expressing yourself and allowing your truth to be spoken. And moving to that forgiving energy. Remember, forgiveness is always for you. It's never for the other person. So we don't carry it around with a heavy heart. But this is like the big ask of this. This is what's being illuminated. Nice. Door to value. Now, this can be quite literal. Something, financial stability coming in, door to value coming in. But really, value is just the things that we value. Door to prosperous connections, new romance, a positive community, a new job, a new life's path, a new situation. That's really what we're talking about when we say door to value. And what's coming out of this is not just money and coins. It's there's like an abundance of flowers. There's like a golden city behind there. It's prosperous. And it's on a strong and solid foundation. This is where you're heading by making a decision around what needs to be done, what needs to be spoken, what you're willing and not willing to put up with. And understanding that if you're holding on to a situation that inherently that's been mirrored back to you is probably not the best for you because there's been some sort of deception. And it is time to start to heal that out, move into forgiving energy, and move on. And for others, if you made a decision in some sort of connection or partnership to forgive after there's been some sort of deception, shutting down and holding on to the anger of it and only being partially invested into the situation is going to make nothing happen. So again, communication needs to be spoken clearly to move through it. Truth needs to be brought out. Expression needs to be had. Okay. I'm getting so many strange vibes and images. Definitely there's two messages showing up here where it's like a decision was made to go into forgiveness and try to heal a situation, but it's not truly happening. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of anger being held on to and things not being said that need to be said. And so nothing will come of this situation. For others, it's about letting go. It's about making a decision to forgive and move on and know that on the other side of this situation is new support systems, new friendships, connections, community, and a lot more value in your life, the things that you value. Okay. All right. So I've been looking at the underbelly of all the cards after I've pulled them to see the bottom deck, because it kind of tells us a determining factor, what's kind of been in the way, what's been the issue. And seventh chakra in reverse. So if it's upright like this, it's suggesting a strong and powerful connection, or giving ourselves over to receiving a strong and powerful connection to spirit, to God force energy, to inner knowing and understanding and discernment so that we can see things clearly and make just decisions, but it's in the reverse, suggesting there's been a block there. Or it may be a not wanting to see because it means having to make really hard choices and decisions on the other side of it. Either way, a big ask for you is to connect to that crown, to your soul self, to spirit, to God force energy, to help you receive clear wisdom, guidance, and understanding so that you can discern through the situation and really make good decisions for yourself. But remember, there's a lot of need for expression right now and speaking your truth in a very big and profound way. It feels here for my message fours. Keep fussing with these cards because the problem is I look in the camera and then I'm like, oh, that's not really lined up. My apologies. All right, let's pull a couple more cards here. I'm not sure why, but I'm looking at the cards here and it's like 53, 39, and 31. There's 3 3s, and I just noticed that there was 3 3s, and I haven't really noticed any numbers through these messages so far, but I am noticing it for you, so that could be significant. 3 3 3 3s are the number of creativity and ascended masters, like calling in ascended masters, like Jesus is thought to be an ascended master. There's lots of ascended masters that you can call in, especially if you're struggling with particular things. Archangel energy as well. Maybe look up the meaning of 333 and see if there's something in it for you, a message. Okay, that card fell out. Because it feels significant to me for whatever reason. And maybe some of you, that's just going to be a confirmation because you've been seeing a lot of like triple 3s and double 3s, that there's messaging in that for you. Oh my gosh, I just touched my microphone. Sorry, guys. Master Jesus, forgiveness. I just talked about Jesus being considered an ascended master. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. Wow. Forgiveness. Forgive. Maybe calling in Christ light at this time to heal you. Very much a healer, Jesus, to move through you and ask you to communicate with you to help you heal, forgive, let go. And as it says, for some of you, this could be father healing energy, like where you've had dissonance with a father figure or an actual father. Either way, a lot of moving through pain, things that have been done, I think, mostly to you. Or if it is some of you that are feeling like you're the ones that's made the mistakes, I feel like that's not going to be the overall energy for most people watching this. It's about time to heal that out and forgive yourself as well. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. Master Jesus. Yeah. Call in Christ light. Call in the energy of healing to help you move into the energy of forgiveness, communicating clearly what it is that you feel, your truth. I think how things have affected you so that you can move on from a situation in a healthy, happy, healed, whole kind of way in and towards a better support system, a better community, to where you're feeling really connected to things of value, stable and secure. Rigid, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Yeah. There's definitely that energy of feeling disempowered and disconnected and unsure and in pain. But you have the power to move through this, to heal through this, to make good, strong, sound decisions for yourself. As I said before, and this card says, back to wholeness. But first we must through healing. We must speak our truth. We must express what is real and true for us and be willing to walk away from things that are no longer serving us, that are only bringing about and causing more difficulty and pain. Okay, pull some moon cards here. I say it in all my readings and every message that I look at these as affirmations that we can use when we're dealing with heavy stuff, when we're catching ourselves in negative thinking, self-criticism, all those kinds of energies that are not helpful. Okay, this card fell out. So I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. And we've got door to value there. So yes, being open to a new way forward, new path, new community, new doors that are about to open for you once you move through this forgiving, healing energy, letting go energy. This is what's on the other side. Abundance. I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. I flow towards my goal. I am strongly protected as I go. I love that. It's interesting too, because I was going to touch on that before, and I think my mind just goes too quickly when I do these readings. But there's that feeling showed up for me too. I don't feel safe. This doesn't feel safe to speak my truth, to walk away, to try to disconnect from something or someone that I know is probably the best for me, and it doesn't feel safe. I definitely feel like that. So this would be a really good one for you to use as an affirmation. I flow towards my goal. I am strongly protected as I go. You are safe. You are protected. I gather more wisdom each day. Yeah. Kind of embracing all this as something like life lessons, learning. I gather more wisdom each day. Seeing the truth. And I feel like for my message force, that's something that's going to start for you now, like really, really the momentum around seeing the truth about things and having epiphanies and more understanding and discernment of yourself, your situation, and what needs to be done is really picking up speed and momentum in and around the time of this full moon. And I think it's going to keep going in that direction if you're open to it. Because remember, the underbelly card was that crown chakra card needing to be clearing the crown so that you can receive more divine wisdom, spiritual connection, healing, all those kinds of things. Okay, I'm going to cap this off with one final message for my group fours. Oh, geez. Here we go. Wow. This is a blessing in disguise. Yeah. I think for more of you, it's your heads up from spirit that nothing is going to come of the situation, that really is time to let go and move on from it, as hard as that's going to be for many of you. This is a blessing in disguise. Be patient and have faith that your angels have the situation under control. What will come is far better than you dared to dream, which is exactly what I feel too. But it starts here, right? It starts with that decisiveness, that expression, the need to let go. Oops. Blessing in disguise. Absolutely feel like that's true for you guys. It probably isn't going to feel like that for a while. Oh my gosh. 33. More threes. Definitely look up threes. There's something. You've got some ascended masters, I think, that want to come in and help you. One definitely being Master Jesus. The healing from him, connection to him, that Christ light. 33. He's also connected to the master number 33. So that's a strong message too. All right, message 4. I am going to leave that there. I do hope you give yourself over to some healing energy and connection to the Christ light, to meditation, to move through and heal so that you can let go and receive wisdom to move forward to something much better, where there's a lot of value and beautiful community and connection. Okay, I really am going to leave that there. Take care, guys.